Welcome to Newton Kid Academy, where we make your dreams come true. So welcome back with our new topic of class 10th ICSE, that is strings. You must have heard about this topic in your previous classes for creating string type of variable. But in this video, we are going to focus more detail about the string. Okay, like its functions, what is the purpose of string class, and some important question based over this topic. So without wasting time, let's start the topic. So now the first question which must be arising in your mind is that what is strings? So string is a collection of characters, or we can say it's a sequence of characters. Now one more term we have seen here, characters. Now what is characters? So let's discuss the difference between the strings and character. We all have heard these two terms in our earlier videos. But now let's understand in detail that what is the difference between the string and character. So here we go. A string, it is a sequence of character, but char, it is a single value. Inside a character, we can hold single value. Okay? Now let's see the example. For creating a string type of variable, we use string, variable name equals to the value. Now here string is a class, it is not a data type, it is a class, and S is an object which belongs to a string class. Okay? Now in case of string, whatever we are storing, that needs to be enclosed inside double quotation. So here you can see inside double quotation I have returned the entire string. Okay? Means whatever you will be writing, it should be enclosed inside double quotation mark. But in case of char, single character, char is a data type and string is a class. Char is a primitive type of data type. Ch is the name of a variable, it is not an object, it is the name of a variable equals to the value, single value, and it needs to be enclosed inside single quotation. So here are some examples of varied characters values. Next, ch2 @ ch3 1. See, all the values are written inside single quotation. But yes, if you write down char ch4 equals to -1. So this will be considered as invalid because here two characters are there, minus and 1. But what is the rule of character? That it can hold single value. I hope the difference between string and char is clear to you. Next point, that is strings are used for creating string object for holding the value. So there are two methods through which we can create the object of a string. Okay? Now let's see that what are the different methods are available for creating a string object. So there are two methods are there for creating a string object. So here we go. The first method is by using a string literal. Okay, and the second method is by using new keyword. Okay, so the first method is by using string literal. Now how we can do that? String literal means simply we will write down the name of a class. Object name is s1 equals to hello, the first string. Second, I have created one more string s2 equals to user. So the following way we can use a string literal for creating a string object. Okay. Second method, by using new keyword. So what we have to write down? Firstly the class name. What is the name of a class? String. Then object name s equals to new. New is a operator which is used for creating and allocating memory for the object. Okay. Then again string. This time it's a constructor. Then the statement. Okay. Now let's see what's the difference between these two methods. Okay. In the first method you can see I have created two objects. But as this is a string literal, so what will happen in the memory? Only one block will be created and both S1 and S2 will be sharing the same location. Okay, means only one block and this S1 and S2 are going to share this. Okay, but when we create a string object using new keyword, then in this scenario one more memory will be allocated for S. Okay, clear? This is the difference between both of the statements. In the first one, although I have created two objects, but as they have been created with the help of string literal, that's why they are sharing the same memory. But in case of string object, another memory will be created. So the question may come that as per the following coding, how many memory locations will be allocated? So two blocks will be allocated, one for this and one for this. Okay. Now the next important point about string is that string objects are immutable in nature. Immutable means once a string object is being created, its state cannot be changed. How? Let's understand with the help of example. Here you can see that I have created one object using a string literal method. String s equals to hello. Now concat function is used for merging two strings together. So I am concatenating s dot concat user. I am joining both of the strings together. But when I will print the output, it will print only hello. Because this object is being created, it is now immutable in nature. But yes, if you write the s equals to s dot concat, then the value of s will be updated because new object will be created. Clear? So in this segment, as new object is not created, this is the only object we are having, so this object will not be updated. But if you are writing string s2 equals to or s equals to s dot concat, then one more object will be created in the memory. Hope the concept is clear that why string objects are immutable in nature. Okay. Now we are going to discuss some important functions of a string class, which are included in your class 10th ICSE syllabus. Okay. Now the first function is length. Okay. Now here are two length functions, I think so you can see, that is first without bracket and second one with bracket. So the first one is used for finding the length of an array. Okay. Suppose we are having an integer type of array where 3 elements are there. We know the indexing always starts from 0, but length counting always starts from 1. So as 3 elements are there, so here when we find the length of array, it will return 3. Clear? Now the second length function is used to find length of a string. Okay, so how? String s equals to, I have written hello user. Then int l equals to s dot length function. The indexing of a string will always start from 0. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as per the indexing, it is from 0 to 9. The range is from 0 to 9. But number of characters are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here the length of the string will be 10. Clear? Now the next method is concat function, which is used for concatenating or joining the strings together. Okay, so for concatenation, two methods are there. First is using concat method. So simply what I have done over here, I have created two string objects, string s2 and s1 and s2. In s1 I have stored hello. In s2 I have stored user. Now when I have taken third variable string s3, where I have written s1 dot concat s2. So these two strings will be merged together. As I have not provided any extra space between these two, that's why the output will come hello user, but there will be no space between hello and user. But if you need space between hello and user, simply put one space after writing the hello. Okay? In the following way, you can concat two strings together. Second method is using plus operator. So we know plus operator is used for two purposes. One for performing arithmetic operation, second for concatenation. So here we can write a string s3 equals to s1 plus s2. Again, as I have not given a space between them, that's the hello user will come together. Now the next function is equals function. Okay, now by the name itself we can understand that it's going to check the equality. Okay, so equals function is actually used for comparing two strings whether they are equal or not. Okay, but it also checks the cases. Like here you can see that here I have taken three variables s1, s2 and s3. In s1 I have stored hello where h is capital and rest of the letters are small. Okay, s2 again first it is capital, rest of them is small, and but both of the strings are equal. In the third one, string is same but the case is different. It is written in uppercase. So now let's see what is going to the output. So this equals function returns a boolean type of value. Boolean is either true or false. So here we go. System.out.println s1 equals s2. We are comparing s1 and s2. So here you can see that characters and cases both are same. That's why it will generate true. Okay, as an output. Second, s1 equals s3. Although this hello and hello, both are the characters are same, but the cases are different. That's why it will return false. Okay, so I hope the concept of equals function is clear to you. Now, next function is equals ignore case. Now, equals ignore case, the task is same but it will not check the cases. If the characters are matching, then it will consider that both of the strings are equal. Okay. So here you can see that system.out.println s1 equals ignore case s3. So here s1 and s3 both of them are storing the word hello. All the cases are different. The cases are different, but still it will return true. Why? Because the characters are same. So that is the difference between equals and equals ignore case. Hope this one is clear to you. Okay? Now our next function is compare to and compare to ignore case. Now compare to function is used to check the strings or compare the strings lexicographically. It used to return integer value. Okay, how? Like here you can see that string s1 is written as hello, s2 and s1 both are same, but in s3 I have written hello in capital letter. So when I will compare s1 s2 compared to s2, what will happen? It will compare both of the string by its ASCII value. Means it will subtract the ASCII value, and if it gets 0, then it will check the next character. Let's see the working of it. So here capital H, the ASCII value of capital H will be 72. Here also 72 minus 0. So it will check the next character. Now small e 101, 101 minus again 0. Now check the next character L, that is 108 minus 108 again 0. Again L 108 minus 108 again 0. Check the next character O 111 minus this, so it will again 0. So finally the output will be 0 over here. Okay. Next one, S1 dot compared to S2. So here S1, that is hello 72, and here also capital H, so it will be 72. So both will be, when we will subtract both of them, ultimately we will get 0. Now next is your small e. Small e means 101, but here capital E is there and the ASCII value of capital E is 69. Okay, I have written the ASCII values also over here. So here it will subtract by 69. Now when we will subtract it, we will get 32. So this is going to be the final output, and here itself the compiler will stop comparing, because here itself we have received a different value apart from 0. So it will not move to the next character. So the following way the compare to function will work. Okay. It will return integer type of value, either positive, negative or 0. If the entire string is true, then it will return, means if both of the string cases and characters are same, so it will return 0. If there's a difference, then according to the difference, it will generate the output. So here itself, the stop the execution will not check the rest of the characters. Clear? Now compare to ignore case function. It is similar to your compare to function. Just the matter is that it will not check the cases. If the characters are same, even the cases are different, it will give 0. So here you can see that S1 contains hello and S3 also contains hello. But as just the cases are different, rest is correct, similar, so that's why it will generate 0. So this is the difference between compare to and compare to ignore case function. Hope this one is clear to you. Now moving towards our next function, that is to uppercase function. To uppercase function is used to convert the string into uppercase, which is also known as capital letter. So for converting each and every character of the string into uppercase, we use to uppercase function. So in example, I have taken a string type of variable where I have stored hello. Here the first letter is written in capital letter, but rest of them are in small letter. So when I am going to use s.to uppercase function, it is going to convert each and every character into uppercase. Clear? Now the next one is your to lowercase function, which is just opposite of your to uppercase. It converts a string into lowercase, or we can say small letter. So here you can see that system.out.println s1 dot to lowercase. It will convert each and every character into small letter. I hope these two functions are clear. Now trim function, its task is to remove the leading and trailing spaces from the string. Now what is leading and trailing? The extra spaces which are given in the beginning and at the end of the string. Its task is to remove those extra spaces. Okay? So here you can see one example. String s equals to, I have taken hello, but before and after hello I have given some spaces. Single space. Now when I will find the length of hello, that is string s, it will print 7. Why 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 characters are there. That's why it is printing 7. But when I will use trim function will trim these two spaces and will store only hello. Okay? So here the length will be 5. After removing these two spaces, ultimately the length will be 5. Okay? Now the second example, in which I have taken string s2. In this I have taken a string hello, where before hello also I have given space, between and after the string also. So string function task is to remove the extra spaces from the beginning and from the end of the string, not from the mid of the string. So as the number of characters are 12, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when we will find the length of this string, it will print 12. But once I will use trim function, what will happen? It will trim these two spaces only. It will not trim the space which is given in the middle of the string. Clear? So here, now when I will find the length of the string, it will print 10. After removing the space from the beginning and from the end of the string. So I hope all these functions are clear to you. Now moving towards our next functions. Okay? Now the next function is caret function. Caret function is used to do character extraction. Whenever we need to extract character from the given string, we use character extraction function, that is caret. Okay, so it will return the character value at a specified position. Means we use to pass position as an argument. Okay, so here you can see that I have stored string s equals to hello user. Fine. So hello user. Next is the char ch equals to, I have written caret s dot caret of 3. So it will return the value stored at position 3. So we know that the indexing of a string also starts from 0. So let's see the indexing, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fine. So at position 3 what is stored? L. So it will return L. Okay. Next, in case if the position is not available, suppose here I have passed 25. Is 25 is available? No. So it will generate a runtime error. What will be the error? That is index out of bound exception. Clear? Same way, if I pass -2, so -2 is also not available, so it will also generate runtime error. That is index out of bound exception. Clear? Next function is substring function. Like caret function extracts a character from the specified string. We can retrieve a single character. But if I need to extract sequence of characters or a part of the string from the given string, then we use the concept of substring. So here, the syntax of substring is that substring, then starting index and last index. But even if you want, you can pass single parameter also, that is starting index. So here you can see that I have given two examples. String s equals to I have written hello user. Now let's write down the index positions first. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fine. Here I have given s dot substring 3, 7. So in case of substring, we used to pass two positions. So that is a starting index and this is a last index. So last index -1 it will go. The range will be from 3 to 6. Okay, 7 will be excluded. Fine. So the output will be, it will start from L and will go up to this part U. So the final output will be L O U. Space will be printed over here. Fine. This is going to be the final output for the following string. Last index -1. It will never go up to the last index. Starting index to last index -1. Clear? Second example, in this I have passed single parameter, that is 7. So the substring will start forming from 7 to the end of the statement. So that is from S to R, that is SER. This is going to be the final output for the substring. So this is the difference between your caret function and substring function. Hope it's clear to you. Now our next function is starts with function. The purpose of the function is to check whether the given string actually starts with the given or specified prefix or not. It returns boolean value either true or false. Clear? So here we go. Like here I have taken a string s equals to computer. I have written s dot start with c. Is the string starts with c? Yes, the string starts with c. That's why it will return true. Now the second one, s dot start with com. Yes, the string's starting point prefix is com. That's why it will return true. But last one I have given er. Does the string start with er? No, it ends with er. So ultimately it will give false because the function returns boolean value either true or false. Now the next function is ends with function, which is just opposite of starts with. Just two rectifications we have to make. In this it checks the start, it will become end, and your prefix will become suffix. It will check the last segment. Okay. So this is the only changes we will make in case of ends with. Means here string s equals to computer is written, but if I have written system dot out dot print ln s dot so here you can see I have written ends with er. In case of starts with, it was given false, but here it will return true because here the string ends with er. So it will check the end of the string and will compare with the suffix. This one will be treated as a suffix, not prefix. Okay, so this is the difference between your starts with function and ends with function. Hope this one is clear to you. Now the next function is index of function. Index of function returns the index position of the specified character, the first occurrence of that character. So here you can see that I have taken a word information. So here let's write down the index position. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So your index of function here are passed int r equals to s dot index of I. Here O will be the capital letter, okay? So here I have passed, it will return the first occurrence, the index position, the first occurrence of I. So the first occurrence is at position 0, so it will return 0. But if the character is not present in the string, in that scenario, like here I have passed z, but z is not available, so it will return -1. Clear? Next is the last index of, it is just opposite of your index of. It will return the last occurrence of the specified character. Okay, means it will return the index position of the last occurrence of the specified character. Okay, so here you can see s dot last index of I have given. So last index is position 8. So it will return 8. And again, as z is not available, so this will also return -1. So this is the difference between these two functions. I hope all the functions which we have discussed are clear to you. Now I am going to discuss some important question based over the chapter. Now let's discuss some important question based over the following chapter which we have discussed just now. So here we go with the first question, that is that here I have taken a string type of variable, string str. In that I have stored a string computer science and engineering. Okay. Now here I am finding a substring 5, 12 I have given. So it will extract the character from 5th position, will go up to 11, because we have discussed this, that substring will return from position P1 to P2 -1. Okay. So here you can see that the string actually the extraction will start from U, because U is located at position 5 and it will go up to I. So how many characters, the question is that how many characters it will return. So the following statement will return 7 characters. So you can check from U to I, it will extract 7 characters. Fine. The question is that how many characters, not the substring. So whenever you are going through the question, please go through the question very properly. Okay. Next question, that again I have taken one string s equals to s ICSC 2021. Fine. There is no space between the characters. Now here I am finding the substring from 4. So from location 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 means it is starting from 2. 2, 0, 2, 1. Fine. Now 2, 0, 2, 1 plus s dot substring 4 plus s dot length is given. So substring is starting from 2021, and what is the length of the string? The length of the string is 8. The number of characters are 8. So the final output will be 2021 8 without any space. Clear? Now the third question, that is how can string be created by 2 methods. So we have discussed 2 methods, by using string literal or by using new keyword, as well as we have seen the examples. Fine. Now the next question is that we have to print the return type of the following function. The first function is start with function, so we know that it returns boolean value. Why? Because it checks whether the specified string, does it start with the specified prefix or not. If it is starting with the specified prefix, then it will return true, else it will return false. So the boolean data type is boolean. Second is random function. I know random function is not a string function, but still for giving you information related to the recall you about the random function, that's why I've included it over here. So random function returns fractional value, decimal value, we can say double type of value. Okay, the data type of random function is double. Fine. Now the next question is that which of the following is incorrect statement about string class. So here string is a class. Of course, string is a class. Strings are mutable? No, strings are not mutable. They are immutable in nature. That's why the option will be B. Now, every string is an object of a string class? Yes. And D1 is also Java defines peer class called string buffer, which allows us to alter the string. So this is also true. With the help of string buffer, we can do that. String is immutable in nature, and string buffer class is mutable in nature. Okay, so the option will be B. Next question is that here one string is given and we have to find out the output, Film Festival 2021. So here the substring is given as 4, 12. So 0, 1, 2, 3, then 4. 4 means F is starting festival, then 4, 5, 6 up to 11 it will take. So up to 11 it will be festival. So here are the options are given: film, no; fest, no. 2 festivals are given in option number C and D. But as the string is given a small letter, so ultimately it will be given a small letter only. Why it will be written in the capital letter? So the option will be C. Clear? Now the next question is that it is also output based question. That is, he went to the market. In a string, this time we have used the new keyword for creating the string. So string object. So here I have written he went to the market. Now here I am using a replace function. Replace function's task is to replace the specified string with the given string. Okay, means here I have written f dot replace. In the first one we have to pass two parameters. First, to be replaced, second with whom we want to replace, and both of the argument needs to be separated by comma. So I want to replace went with what? Is going. I want went should be updated with is going. So here when I will print the output, instead of he went to the market, it will be transformed to he is going to the market. Went will be converted to is going. Went will be replaced with is going. Clear? So this is going to be the final output of the following question. Now the next question is, which is also output based question. Here you can see that I have taken two integer type of variable and one string type of variable. Under string S I have stored string inside double quotation. Int a equals to 12 and b equals to 45. Now the first printing statement I have written system.out.println S plus a plus b. In S we have stored string a equals to 12 and b equals to 45. So the output will be string 1 to 45. Second one is written as a plus s plus b. So a 12, s string, b 45. So 12 string 45. Next is your a plus b plus s. So here the first two terms are of integer type. So we will find the sum of a plus b and we concatenate with the string. So a plus b means 12 plus 45, which will be 57. 57 and string. So 57 string will come. So this is going to be the final output of the following code. Next question. Now the next question is that it is also output based question. Here I have taken two string type of variable x and y. In x I have stored computer and y applications. Okay. Now the first statement is x dot index of x dot character 4. So what is located at position 4? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 means u. Okay. Now what is the index position of u? That is 4. So ultimately the output will be 4. Now here you can see the next statement y plus x dot substring 5. So in the indexing, here first y is your applications. Substring of 5 means it will extract the character from location 5 till the end. So 5 at location 5 what stored? T. So it will store TER. So final output will be applications, then TER will be concatenated from the computer. Okay. Now the last question of the following video is that here char x equals to written as capital A, and one more variable I have taken int m. Now what I have written m equals to x is equals to small a, then print capital A or small a. But the m is of integer type, so it will do an implicit type conversion over here. Okay, so what will happen? As the condition is false, because in x we have stored capital A, not small a. So what will happen? X equals to small a, condition is false, so small a will be there, second output, second expression, but it will not store small a, it will store the ASCII of small a because we are storing it in a integer variable. So the output will be 97. Clear? So all these are the different type of question which can come from a string chapter. Fine? So I hope the concept which we have discussed in this video are clear to you. But as usual, if you have any doubt, then you have the comment section. You can comment below over there so that I will clear your doubt in my next video. So for now, if you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Okay, so bye and see you in the next class.